Okay. Anybody have wants and needs? You literally have 30 seconds. So unmute yourself right now if you have a want and need. Okay, I'm moving on. All right, broker moment for the day. We have some new UAR forms that have come out. Today, we're just going to talk really quickly about the new appraisal addendum because we all use this in so many things right now. This is a cool one that just came out. So when you are talking about the buyer paying over the appraisal, now we have an addendum for it. Buyer's appraisal clause, appraisal guarantee. In the event the the property appraises for less than the purchase price, here you go. There's an appraisal addendum for it now. You no longer have to put that in just in a normal addendum. So Steve and Brian and I are going to do a sales meeting about all the new addendums that have come out. So we'll be talking about these later. But again, real estate brokerage commission escrow instructions, a new one, referral agreement that came out, and for sale by owner commission agreement. So those are the new forms. Be aware of them. They are on the MLS currently. All right, don't forget about our new upcoming classes this next week. We have 2 4 hours coming up. Tomorrow's class as well is 2 4 hours. We all need 4 hours, don't we? So don't forget to get your hours. Congratulations to all our closers for the week. We had 50 closings. Way to go, you guys. Give some rounds of applause. Woohoo! Rounds of applause. All right, and for the people that capped out, way to go, Judy Gerard and Barbie Schramm. Woohoo! Okay, so we have our affiliates. Again, I promised, look, I've already only done 2 minutes. I'm so confused. Amy, you have 1 minute. Please take your time and go.
Gotcha. Thank you. I know we've talked about this before, but if you have any clients that are purchasing a condo, it's very important to know what their HOA master policy covers. It does not cover things like personal property, liability, and even their loss assessments. So we'd love to speak with them. I do have a little flyer. If you guys are interested, I'll throw my email in the chat that you can give to your buyers that tells them why they need additional home insurance for a condo. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Do I see Patrick Murphy with Home Warranty of America on? I'm scrolling through as fast as I can, and I do not see Patrick Murphy on. He is our preferred home warranty vendor, so I am going to move on. Do I see Jack Andrews at Edge Homes on? Jack, I do not see you either. Okay. Does anybody have any announcements for this week or the following week? I think we have a Friday Fun Day coming up, don't we? Shred It Day for our clients. If you want to be involved in Shred It, let Michelle know. You can tell your clients to bring all their documents to be shredded. We are bringing a Shred It truck, but you will need to buy in on it. So make sure Michelle knows. Look at that, Clara. I did it in 3 minutes. Woo! You thought I couldn't. You thought I couldn't.
I love it. Thank you.
I could. I'm amazing.
All right, I'm going to go over and share my screen. So we are good to go. Let's do the slideshow. So, oh my gosh. Did you have anything else you want to say, Jen, before we dive in?
That's it. Please take over.
Okay. It's so awesome to be here. You know, you commented a couple minutes ago on Friday Fun Day. And I think with this group, every Friday is Fun Day. You know, when I came and did the installation, I guess almost 6 months ago, it was one of the most fun installations I have ever taught, and I cannot wait to come back. So when we were talking about doing something virtually, I said, I will take it because I just really loved working with all of you. And right now, the world has been a little crazy. And this class about living on purpose is so important to make sure that for us to lay a solid foundation, we are always coming back to what makes us purposeful. So for those of you that I haven't had a chance to meet in person, my name is Clara Capano, and I am one of the Ninja instructors and coaches. So I've been with the Ninja selling system since about 2009. This session is going to have a ton of information that we're going to cover in a short period of time. It is being recorded, so I really encourage you to take the time and go back through it once, maybe twice, and being able to, take some notes as we go. But let's talk about what it means to live a life on purpose. The first question I have for you is, would you say that you are living your life by default or by design? You know, so many of us are just waking up and we are just taking the world, including our business, as it comes. And there is a smarter way and a better way to do that. Because what we know is that when you follow the ninja system, you can have more purpose in your days, which is going to make you feel more grounded, more in control of your business. And what is going to happen is you're actually going to see that transfer to how you show up for your clients. So the idea is, let's take more of the control back and let's create some systems and a mindset of purposefulness so that we can really achieve the success that we want to have. There are 3 things that we are going to go over today. The first part of living a life of purpose is uncovering your why. What makes you get up each and every day? We want you to also be able to take control over your focus and your energy. You see, there are so many things in this world that we can't control. We can create as many addendums as we want to try to take control back of these areas. But the idea is we really can only control 2 things every day: the mindset that we choose to go into the day with, and then the actions that we take. And then lastly, it's about, let's stay consistent with a few habits. It is better to do a few things at a world-class level and to do those things consistently than to try to do everything. So let's go ahead and dive in. And let's dive into this first one about what is our why. And there is a concept out there about being a drifter. And a drifter is really one of those people that we refer to that is living a life by default. You know, so many times people are going through this world and they don't have a vision of what they really want to create. So they're just kind of waking up and they're like, well, what am I supposed to do today? You know, they don't have a purpose. They don't have a chief aim that is out there drawing them and driving them to knowing what it is they need to do. There was a book that was written actually many years ago, even though it was just released not that long ago, called Outwitting the Devil. And what they did is they talked about what it means to be a drifter. And how they defined a drifter is that, again, they have no real purpose. They're living by default. They are in a continuous state of distraction. Don't we know that? You know, we get distracted about every 3 minutes. So we understand that. They let others do the thinking for them. They focus on being entertained. And oftentimes they are the favorite target of this quote unquote devil that we'll define in just a minute. You know, I like to think of this person again as just, you know, being very confused as to why they're doing what they're doing, you know, not having that real purpose and that real focus on knowing what it is they need to do. And it makes it really hard for us to show up and run a purpose-driven business when we are a drifter. Now, with this book was actually written in 1938 by Napoleon Hill. He was very concerned about the controversy of it, not just in the name, but the idea that he calls people out. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in a second. He talks about this concept of using fear to motivate. And oftentimes, who uses fear to motivate? It could be politicians. It could be, you know, leaders of religious organizations, leaders of successful businesses. So he was very concerned about the controversy. And he actually said, I do not want this book to be published until after I have passed on. After he passed on, his wife said, I don't want it to be published while I'm alive. And even some of the kids were like, we don't want it published right now. So finally in 2011, they decided to go ahead and publish the book. And if you have an opportunity to actually listen to it on audio version, it's really cool because it becomes an interview between the devil and this other person. Now, what he talks about is as the devil is not a person or an entity. Really what it is it's an expression. It is this matter. It is what shows up. It is the negative side of the world, the negative side of our mindset. So it's not an actual person, but again, it's a principle. And the idea is, are you letting this entity control your world, to take your focus off the things that are really truly a priority for you and causing you to put blocks on your own success. The devil's favorite tool again is this idea of fear, and using fear to hold us back, using fear to put us into a mindset of scarcity. And so when people are living in fear, they are not opening themselves up to what their real purpose is. I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and what they talked about is, what is going to be larger for you? Your fear of doing something, or is it going to be your drive for your purpose? And drifters allow themselves to be controlled by fear, whereas people that have a purpose-driven mindset know that their purpose is there to work on it. And one of the things that we talk about in Ninja is this concept of the reticular activating system.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, and the reticular activating system is a place in our brain. It's a filtration system that really causes us to go down one of two paths. We can go down the path of scarcity, which also is the path of fear, or we can go down the path of abundance, which is the path of growth and the path of love. The truth is, what you focus on expands. And whatever it is, whatever path you choose to go down, that is what you are going to find. And what we find is that fear is really the absence of that ability to see love, to see opportunity, to see growth, and to see abundance. So when you are living in fear, you are thinking about yourself rather than coming from a place of abundance and learning how to serve others. So with Ninja, we encourage you to change that, to shift your mindset to one of abundance, so that you can come from a place of servitude for others, of love for others, as well as love for yourself. It's this concept of stop thinking of yourself and thinking of how your purpose, thinking about what you do and how you do it can serve those around you. And I want you to understand that when it comes to the realm of real estate, our job really isn't to sell real estate. Our job is to serve others. It's to be a trusted advisor to them. It is about how to serve them and be a resource for them, not just during the transaction, but also between the transactions. Because you see, in Ninja, there are no past clients. We have just clients. And when we focus on how we can serve them and how we can be a resource for them, we don't have to be fearful, because we are no longer waking up with the mindset of who can I sell to today? It's who can I serve today? And that really opens up our ability for opportunity, for growth, and to help people. Now, there's a gentleman out there, many of you may know him and follow him. His name is Simon Sinek, and he actually does an amazing talk, and you can find it on TED Talk, you can find it on YouTube, and he talks about this idea of knowing that your why. And it actually, what people do is, many people are driven by the outside in. What is it that they do? And they have that what they do become their identity. I am a realtor. But what he talks about is that when you can connect with your why, you actually start living from the inside, and that branches out. So for example, what is it that I do? I can sell real estate. How do I do that? I use the Ninja selling system to do that. But why is it that I do that? I do it to help people go from the lives that they simply live in or dream about to the lives that they are going to live. So I get them out of just dreaming about success, and I get them actually to have success. And it's that why that truly connects us. It's oftentimes what we refer to as our rocket fuel. So for me as a teacher and as a speaker, a big part of what I do is I've got to get on a plane and travel, meaning that I have to leave my son. I love my son, but I also love what I do. But what really gets me excited is because I know that I am impacting and changing lives on a global level. And it is that purpose, it is knowing my why that gets me excited to go to the airport and to jump on planes and to travel. It is that why that I communicate with my family so that they're encouraging me, and my son is a part of my vision with me. So for some of you, you may have a passion for real estate. For some of you, it could be a passion that is bigger than real estate. And that is what we want to tap into. There was an excellent movie that came out several years ago called The Bucket List. And it was a great movie because it's got some amazing actors in it. But the biggest thing is we've all got to have a bucket list. Our bucket list, our life list, our passion list. These are the reasons that we are living. Real estate might feed into that. And real estate also could be a vehicle to help us live the things that we're passionate about. And what we find is that we really have 4 different areas that really motivate us. What are the dreams? What are the things on our bucket list for us and our families, both our immediate family and our extended family? What are the things that we're passionate about that we want to accomplish for our occupation and our careers? What are some of the things that we want to do for fun? And then how do we want to contribute back and contribute positively to the world? Because these really are the driving forces for them. And we want to start getting clear on these items and being able to understand also these things for our clients so that we can be a resource for them as well in these areas. So John Goddard, he is, again, a motivational speaker, and he is somebody that has accomplished amazing things in his world. He created his bucket list. And when he was asked, tell us the power of your list and what this meant for you, he showed them his list of about 176 items. And then he went through and he was checking them off. And he said, because if you don't have a list, how do you know how you want to live? And he said, the quality of your life is the quality of your list. You see, so many of us are just bouncing around and we don't really know where we want to go. Let's get some clarity on what we want our life to look like. So I encourage you to start asking yourself, who is it you want to become? What are the things that you want to do? What are the things, some of the things you want to have? And what are the things that you want to be able to give back? Because that's the motivating factor for us. Because our life list is what's going to be what programs us to, again, find that abundance, to keep us in that realm of love, and to keep us out of fear. Because when we know what we are working for, we don't have to be fearful because everything is in alignment with where we want to go. We talk about the reticular activating system. And again, it's a filtration system. And it's what you focus on expands. And if you have a passion list, a life list, a bucket list that is drawing you towards the life that you want, the things that you value and the things that you love, that is the path that you're going to go on. Let's make it more simple. Have you ever thought about buying a new car? So Nicholas is just about 16. He wants a Jeep Compass or a Toyota Tacoma. Guess what he is seeing on the road everywhere he goes? He is seeing those 2 cars because those are the things that are in his filtration system right now. I see this a lot in the markets that I'm working with a lot of my clients with inventory. I hear several people saying things such as, there's no inventory. How am I possibly going to find houses for my buyer? They're going down the path of scarcity. And guess what they're finding? No inventory, no opportunities. I have another section that is saying, you know what? There is limited inventory, but I still know that there is opportunity. I still know that there are going to be people who need to move who I can help. And guess what they are finding? They are finding those opportunities. So you've got to start thinking about, what is my mindset? And am I using my why to drive me? Because if you are focusing on how you can serve and how you can create that life list, you are going to be able to find opportunities to bring you into it. So I encourage you after our class to sit down and start looking at, what are some things that you want to accomplish? Relationships, adventures, things that you want for your family, again, your extended family as well as your immediate family. What are some of the things that you want to do for your career? Do you want to get some designations? Do you want to build a team? Do you want to write a book? Do you want to be a mentor? What are some of the things you want to do for fun? Do you want to travel? Do you want to buy investment properties? And then again, how do you want to contribute back? Because we want these to be our guiding points. And when you know why you are living, what you are living for, the quality of your life is the quality of your list. So create your list and wake up every day. Am I working towards this? And what you want to do is also start looking at your passion for real estate. So before we go into your energy, I just want to talk about, some of you may have a strong passion for real estate. Some of you may be using your whys as your passion to sell real estate. So Larry Kendall, who is the founder of Ninja Selling, he's got a passion for real estate. He loves every aspect, every angle of it. You know, we have other people, myself included. I don't necessarily have a passion for real estate. I have a passion for helping people learn about the power of home ownership. But one of the things that I am really passionate about is about writing and speaking and about teaching with people how to create a path for success. I still do sell real estate, but that real estate, those commissions that I earn, fuel my ability to write my books. They allow me and afford me the ability to go and see my family who live in California when my primary residence is in Colorado. So again, you can start looking at how you can use real estate to be able to feed in to give you these things that you want to strive for. So in looking at this, we also know that we then have to take our passion and our why and feed it into the person that we are showing up as each and every day. So this brings us to, what is the energy that we are using and how are we showing up each and every day? And what scientists have found is that we actually have 4 different emotional quadrants, everything from the high negative to the high positive. Now, the high negative is oftentimes a mindset of what we refer to as the victim, the person that is feeling that the world is against them. They're walking around like Eeyore with the big gray cloud over their head, all the way to the high positive, which is our player, our Tigger, the person that's like off the charts. Now, we can't always be in the high positive, even though that's where we want to strive to be. Sometimes we're in the low positive and just kind of calm in what we do. But what we know is that when we step out and we do this thing called perform, we really want to make sure that we are in the high positive. So I mentioned earlier that we really only have 2 things we can control each day, our mindset and our actions. Well, a big part of this is how are we showing up and what is the emotional energy that we are showing up with? Because think about, when do we perform? We perform when we go on listing consultations, buyer consultations, when we're negotiating. So we want to make sure, because not every day is filled with rainbows and unicorns. We want to make sure that when we are stepping out to perform, we can get into that high positive quadrant. So I just want you to take a second, and this is an exercise for those of you that were in the installation. I probably walked through with you in the installation, but for those of you that haven't, I want you to think about a time that you were in your high positive. We also equate this with the concept of, I was in the zone. We all have that moment where we are in the zone and everything was clicking away the way that it needed to click away. Maybe it's today, maybe it was yesterday, maybe it was 6 months ago. You know, you came out of an appointment and you're like, I nailed it. I want you to think about a moment, and I want you to think for yourself and write down, wherever you are, write down 5 words that you would use to describe yourself in that moment. How do you describe yourself when you are in the zone? Don't overthink it. Just what 5 words come to your mind? So for me, my 5 words are energized, prepared, passionate, motivating, and genuine. Those 5 words represent Clara when Clara is at her best. Now, let's be honest. That's also what my clients are paying me for. Because if I don't show up when I'm teaching, when I'm coaching, whatever it is that I'm doing, if I do not show up as the best version of myself, then I am not serving at the highest level possible. And I have control over if I show up as this person or not. So each and every day before I get ready to step onto the platform to perform, I check in with those 5 words and I ask myself, are you prepared to be this person today? Because again, if I show up as anything less than that, I am not going to bring the energy that I need to give the best that I am. So know who you are, because the goal is we want to be in that performance quadrant, in that high positive. Now, Dr. Stephen Covey also talks about this idea of staying in control. And he talks that there are 3 circles. There is the circle of concern, the circle of influence, and the circle of control. The circle of concern is where most of those drifters live, because they are so concerned. Again, they're focused on being entertained more than being productive or being in control. This is where they can be pulled off track by distractions, by those bright and shiny objects. Ninjas, however, are more focused on, again, the things that they can control and where they can have influence in serving others. So things like the loan. This is why it's so important. And I love that your company has invested in these strong relationships, because again, you want to make sure you have your team. I don't need to worry about the loan if I'm working with a service provider that I know, trust, and I understand their process. You know, I can call them and say, what's happening with the loan? I don't need to call them every 5 minutes. It's out of my circle of control, because that is what they control. That is what they are great at. So again, really focusing on my mindset and the actions that I am doing, because we want to make sure that we are staying in control and not getting pulled off. What you focus on expands. And if you are staying focused in the distractions, that is where your mind, that is where your energy, and that is where your success will go as well. So focus on these. Don't be a drifter. Drifters get lost in the distractions because they live in the circle of concern. They spend all their time focusing on things that are outside of their control, and therefore they lose control over the success for both their business and their life. So be aware of these things. A lot of social media, and please don't get me wrong, I love technology. I would not be able to be here with you today if it wasn't for technology. But you've got to find a way to manage the distractions. You've got to find a way to not let them take away your control, and be able to use them as a way to connect with others, to serve others, and they should be used to enhance your relationships, but not to replace your relationships or to replace your focus. Now, Robin Sharma is one of my mentors, and he has this fantastic quote: "The enemy of mastery is not mediocrity, it is distractions." And it is this addiction to distractions that is ruining many potentially awesome lives. And the truth is, as fantastic as social media is, it's designed to be a distraction. And if any of you have seen the movie on Netflix, you know, about, what is it called? It's all about the distraction. I can't remember the exact name, but it's, it talks about how it's primed to pull our focus away and to take control over our mindset. So we've got to be stronger than these items, and we've got to have things in place. So I'm going to talk with you about some habits to help you stay in the circle of control. So some of the books that we go to in Ninja are these ones that are here on the screen for you. So you might want to take a little screenshot of this. You know, there's Rich Habits, you know, Success Habits by Napoleon Hill, High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard. Again, Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and then The Power of Habits. All of these are excellent. I have read all of these. Some of them are newer than others, but the idea is if you really want to stay in the circle of control and you really want to live a life on purpose, you got to have discipline and you got to have habits to help you do that. Love this quote. It's one of my favorite quotes and I use it all the time. People do not decide their futures. They decide their habits, and it is their habits that decide their futures. You see, we are creating our futures by how we show up today, by the energy, by the mindset, and by the habits that we run. Another one of my favorite quotes are the habits you have today on par with the dreams that you have for tomorrow. Because you see, we all can tell the future, and the future depends on right now. So the power of habits, it's not about today. It is about laying the foundation for the life that you want to live, the business that you want to have tomorrow. So one of the questions that we get asked in Ninja, especially after people come out of the installation, they say, oh, we love all this. We want to do this, but how can we make the habits so easy, so turnkey for us so that we can do them as consistently as we just do brushing our teeth every morning? So we've got to make sure that we have habits that are going to be so easy for us that we don't even have to think about them because they become a part of our lifestyle, and making them just a system that we run each and every day. Now, one of the books that came out during the pandemic and really has been popular over the last year is this one written by James Clear called Atomic Habits. If you have not read it, I highly encourage you to pick it up. It is one of the best books out there on habits. The audiobook, from what I hear from people, is fantastic, but I encourage you to also take a lot of notes as you're doing it. And one of the things that he talks about is that, one of the problems in setting goals is we focus too much on the outcome and we don't focus on the system of how we are going to get there. The other problem that he talks about is we don't make it a part of our identity. And what he talks about is it's very similar to the circles that we talked about, the circle of control. We focus on, for example, with diet, I focus on, I want to lose 10 pounds. But that really doesn't connect with who we are. What we want to do is we want to start focusing on the identity. I want to be fit and healthy, because if I connect with my identity, the diet is going to be much easier. Somebody asked me the other day, what do you think is more important, motivation or discipline? And for me, if I am motivated, if I know what I am working towards and why I am working towards that, I don't have to worry about the discipline because I'm going to want to do the discipline. So it's all about starting to think about in your business and your life, who is it you want to become? Because again, that why is going to be your rocket fuel. So you show up for the right habits. So one of the things he says is success is not a goal to reach or a finish line to cross. It's all about a system. So again, when you start knowing what it is you want to accomplish, let's create success systems to help us get there, because that's what's going to help us run the successful habits. The beauty is Ninja gives you the system. We have 5 daily and 4 weekly habits. And if you can start working these into your world and then do these at a consistent level, the habits will become automatic for you. Now, I do want you to understand progress, not perfection. As much as I would love to wave my ninja magic wand and say, when we're done here, you guys are all going to do these, it's all about progress, not perfection. So use these, ease into them, make them part of your world. But when they become turnkey, you're really going to be able to see success follow. So the 5 daily habits. The first one is starting your days with gratitudes and affirmations. Again, getting ourselves into that performance quadrant, stepping into our mindset of positivity and setting out the vision of who it is that we want to become in our days. The second thing that we encourage you to do is to time block and to stay on your agenda. Have a start time to your day. Now, I'm an early bird. My start time is pretty early. I'm up at about 5, and I am usually at my desk by 7 o'clock. For some of you, it may be later, and that's fine. But remember, you're running a business. So whatever your start time is, show up and be ready to go for your start time. You're running a business. So when do you want to open for business? What are your hours of operation? So put your time blocks together and do your best to stay on your agenda. One of the things that we know in Ninja is once we get into our business, we're off and running. So we encourage you to work on your business in the morning so you can have the flexibility to be in your business in the afternoon. So do the building blocks of your business. This is when you might want to do some of your calls, some of your paperwork, again, laying the foundation, and then being available to meet with your clients more in the afternoon. And the afternoon, again, can be defined how you define that. If your morning starts earlier, your afternoon may start at 11 or 11:30. If your morning starts later, it could be 1 or 2 o'clock. So you can define what that looks like. We are a big proponent of handwritten notes. Handwritten notes are an amazing way to show acknowledgement and appreciation for those around you. They don't have to just be business to business. So it's for everybody, your friends, your family, your coworkers, and yes, your clients and your service providers, but letting them know and putting pen to paper to let them know how much you acknowledge them. Now, we have 3 magic phrases that you can use to help you with your notes. The first is the ever famous thank you. Thank you for working with me. Thank you for coming to my open house. Thank you for helping me with this deal. The second one could be your congratulations or your condolence. Congratulations on closing, congratulations on getting engaged on your new baby, or it can be a condolence. I'm sorry for the loss of someone in your family. I'm sorry that you didn't get the promotion. And then the third one is, I was just thinking of you, or you were just on my mind. You don't have to have a big reason. It could just simply be, I wanted to let you know how special you are to me. So working with those, and we encourage you to do 10 a week or 2 of them a day. And then steps 4 and 5, this is what we call your pipeline. One of the things that makes the Ninja system different than other systems out there is we understand that business has 2 parts to it. There is focusing on today's business, which is our hot list, and then also planting the seed. In Ninja, we bring in a concept of creating a sustainable business. And the reason that is because we are not just focused on today, but we are also focused on where is our business coming from tomorrow. So your hot list is really who you are working with now. These would be your active sellers, your active buyers, and people that are under contract. Your warm list is who maybe could be having potential change in their world that are coming down the pike. One of the things that we know about in real estate is so much of what we do today shows up in our business in about 90 to 100 days, meaning that a lot of the people that I talk to today are going to be my business 3 to 6 months from now. So we want to make sure that you are not just focusing on who I need to take care of now, but who do I also need to take care of that could be coming down the pike? Because if all I do is focus on today's business, what's going to happen in 90 days? I'm going to have a big goose egg and I'm not going to have any business. So you want to make sure that you have time carved out for them. Now, what we find is that, again, this is why we encourage you to work on your business in the morning and be free to be in your businesses in the afternoon, is because a lot of the people out there that are talking about success, like Robin Sharma, talk about the most important hour of the day is that first hour, because it is that first hour that sets the stage for everything. So for me, my first hour is less about business and more about the mindset and the energy. So when I get up, it's doing a little bit of exercise to get my body moving. It's feeding my brain by listening to podcasts or reading something motivational. It is, thinking about what is my schedule for the day so that I know where my focus and where my priorities are for the day. And I do all of these things before I even open up my email. So I really encourage you to really make a solid morning routine so you can start your day with purpose. Now, I also do what I call bookend my days, where I have a morning routine and I also have an evening routine. And my evening routine is very small, but I know that we can get through the end of the day and then we're kind of focused on what didn't I get done today? And we start beating ourselves up for everything we didn't get done today. What I like to do at the end of the day is just take a moment and just say, you know what? What are 3 great things that happened today? So yes, I'm starting my day with gratitude, but I also like to end my day with gratitude because maybe I didn't get everything done, but you know what? I still probably got some great things done. So I encourage you, sandwich your days, bookend your days, and have a start focus and have an end focus. So again, we can always live with purpose. Then we go into our weekly habits. These would be our customer service calls. Our customer service calls is when we time block a specific time to call and check in with our current clients. We know that our current clients are the #1 source of referral business for us because they are in it and we can get amazing results. What we find is that having a set time each week where it becomes part of our process and our clients know when we are calling them to go over the activities that they have had on their listing, to check in with them, make sure they are well taken care of. It shortens all the incoming calls of them calling us because they know the process of when we're going to call them. It allows us to give them more focused attention and more focused purpose with where we are going. And what it does is it actually lets them know how communication is going to happen, and it gives them a level of quality communication. So we really encourage you to focus on having these high quality calls. The second thing that we do is we also have this thing called real estate reviews. Now, real estate reviews are a great way to be able to connect with people who have done business with us, and on an annual basis, give them a sort of a real estate prospectus of what is happening with their real estate holdings. For any of you that are newer in the business, this is a great way to connect with people in your sphere of influence. It could be going to some of those people that may be on your warm list. It's a great way to give yourself instant credibility as a trusted advisor. So it's just giving them sort of a 30,000-foot view of what is happening in the real estate market, and open the door to some really strong, strategic, and purposeful real estate conversations. Number 8 is where we have 50 live interviews. You know, it's a contact sport at the end of the day. We have to talk to people. So we want you to have 50 conversations. The reason that we call them live interviews is because we want them to be conversations, and interviews because in interviews we ask questions. The types of questions we want to ask them is what we call FORD. Now, FORD is an acronym, and I showed it to you a little bit earlier. FORD stands for family, occupation, recreations, and dreams. So when you are talking with someone, if it's a current client, you're talking with them about their business. But if it's just a friend, you know, somebody that you just met and you don't have a deal going with them, talk with them about what's happening with their families, what's happening at work, what are they doing for fun, and then dreams or anything in the future. What are you doing for spring break? What are you doing for the summer? What are you doing this weekend? It connects you with them, because the truth is everybody's very favorite topic in the world is themselves. So you are giving them a platform to talk about what they are passionate about. It also gives you an opportunity to learn, because let's also think about what are the biggest motivating factors that people move. They move because of changes in their family. They move because of changes with their job. They may want to have a different lifestyle, recreation, or again, it's their dreams. They can finally have their dream home. Maybe they want to have a dream of owning investment properties or having a dream of a second home. So when you can start to understand the things that are motivating them, it comes back to, again, how can I be a resource for them? So there is magic in these conversations, and being able to connect with people, talk with them, learn about them can really allow you to position yourself as that trusted advisor. And then number 9 is you got to keep your database updated. Your database is the central nervous system to your business, because if we want you to talk to people, to serve people, to be a resource to people, you got to know who your people are. So get your database together. And then once your database is together, spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes a week keeping it updated, making sure you have the right addresses. If there's changes, if you've learned something new, keep it updated so that when you connect with them, it can be fresh and have all the information that you need. You know, Jim Rohn, who, you know, unfortunately is no longer with us, he is an amazing man, someone I really encourage you to follow in what you're doing. One of the things that he says is it's not the question of whether the formula for success will work, but whether the person is going to work the formula. Now, I've been with Ninja since 2009. I work this with all of the people that I work with, but I also work it with myself. And I promise you, it works. We have a saying in Ninja, TSW, the system works. But you know what? The system will only work if we work the system. So you want to make sure, again, the idea is bringing it in and having consistency. And if you look at the Ninja 9, you know, a lot of them are really easy to do. It's easy to wake up and to do some gratitudes. It's easy to do some handwritten notes. It can be easy to ask somebody, what are you doing this weekend? But isn't it also easy not to do those things and to say, I'll just do 10 handwritten notes this weekend? And pretty soon we're not in the system. So the idea is to do something called the compound effect. It's to follow these easy things on a regular basis and have consistency. So why would someone not follow the daily activities? It's because they don't think it matters. Because again, they haven't connected it back with their why. So let's just talk about these 50 conversations and relate them to phone calls, because that's the number one area where most of us have call reluctance in. Why do we not do our calls? We think we're bothering people. we think of them as sales calls. You need to shift your mindset. Why am I connecting with them? I'm connecting with them because, again, my job isn't selling real estate. My job is being a good friend. It's being a trusted advisor. So for me, they're not sales calls, they're connection calls, because I have an obligation to let my people know that I care about them. And should they need something, I want to be there to be able to help them. Whether they need something real estate or they need something community-wise, a contractor, someone to just listen to them. But if you can connect why it matters, not just to you, but also for them, you're going to show up differently. You're going to show up with purpose. You're going to show up with a passion for doing it, because it's no longer a choice. It's an obligation to do what we want to do. You know, what you do every day matters most than what you do once in a while. I could work out for 3 hours a week. I can do that in 2 different ways. I can go to the gym 1 day a week and work out for 3 hours, or I can go to the gym 5 or 6 times a week and work out for 30 minutes each time. Guess which one's going to deliver the results? Same amount of time, different process. It is better for you to do a few things at a high level than to do a lot of things at a mediocre level. So get your system together and show up with consistency. The idea is it's how you show up over time that is really going to make the difference. You have got to start asking yourself, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? Because good habits become your friend. You know, bad habits are going to become your enemy. So you want to make friends with these disciplines. You don't want to think of them as punishments. You want to think of them as, how are they going to get me in alignment with what it is that I need to accomplish? So again, maybe you have a passion for real estate, and that's fantastic. But if you're feeling like your passion is not necessarily the real estate, maybe it's sending your kids to college. Maybe it's traveling around the world. Maybe it's writing books. Maybe it's financial freedom. The truth is, your passions need to be funded. And maybe this is the rocket fuel of knowing how real estate and helping others achieve their dream of real estate is going to help you fuel your passions so that you can live the life, not that you dream about anymore, but you can start living that life each and every day. So again, focus on who is it you need to become. Then what is the process to get there? And then if you work that process, the outcomes will take care of themselves. But again, it's no longer, you know, I'm a realtor. It's maybe I'm a trusted advisor. I am someone that serves people. I run a referral-based business. Becoming connected with that identity will lead you to the outcomes. So you've got to understand, I am somebody who does this, not somebody that wants to do it. I don't want to be a ninja. I am a ninja. And every time you wake up with that mindset of gratitude, every time you do that handwritten note, every time you work the Ford principle, you are that person. So connect with that vision of who it is you want to become. So again, it's not about running a marathon, it's about becoming a runner. You know, for me, it's not about writing an article, it's about being a writer. You know, it's about being that person each and every day. So I encourage you, get connected on who it is you want to become. Do you want to become a $25 million producer, a $50 million producer? You know, who is it you want to become? And use that as your compass for how you show up, because we become what we do repeatedly. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, it is a habit. So use this vision of the life you want to lead, the person you want to become, to connect the dots to get you there. Because when you know who you want to become and you make the commitment to show up as that person. So think about who you want to become and then work it backwards. What are the habits, the disciplines, and the skill sets that I need to develop to step into becoming that person? Take a vote every day, because every action that you take is a vote for you becoming that person. Every call that you make is a vote for you becoming that person. Every morning that you wake up and do your gratitudes, it's a vote for you becoming that person. And then every day we don't do it, it works the opposite end of that. So let's focus not on what we don't have, not on how far we are. Let's focus on where we are going, and let's focus on stepping into that greatness each and every day. Because if we win the days, we can start winning the weeks. And if we win the weeks, we can start winning the months, and winning the months will start leading to the years, which will start leading to living a life of purpose and what we want. So when you're hearing that little self-talk come up and you're wondering, what should I be doing today? You know, I don't know if I want to run today. I don't really want to go to the gym today. You know what? What would a healthy person do? You know what? I really don't want to save money. I really want to go and spend money. You know, what would a financially fiscal person do? And you know what? I'm kind of bored. I don't know where my business is coming from. I don't know if I really want to work today. What would a ninja do? You know, show up as the person that you want to become. When I go into my week, I do a weekly business planning meeting with myself, and I ask myself, am I setting up my week to become the person I know I can become? Am I set up to be the person I want to be? Are my habits and disciplines carved out? Do I have time blocked? Because if I act as if that person each and every day, I will become that person. So again, your Ninja 9 are the habits that you need to run consistently so that you can become the person you know you can become. Our ninjas, again, have a high income per hour, and they are living beautiful, magnificent, and significant, successful lives at the same time. So again, come down to deciding and getting that clear vision of who it is you want to become. Do some affirmations and visualizations around it. Have pictures on your vision board. Have some statements. You know, one of mine is to be a New York Times bestselling author. So I write that every day. I am a New York Times bestselling author. That is an affirmation that I want to step into. Do the actions and give yourself a vote each and every day by the habits that you do. And then I really encourage you, surround yourself with a peer group that's going to support you. They could be people that you physically know, or it could be people like Jim Rohn, Robin Sharma, Mel Robbins, that you listen to, that you follow on a regular basis, to keep your mindset in one of abundance and to remind you of what it is that you are working towards each and every day. Our peer groups, what we surround ourselves, our environment, really can contribute to about 80% of our success. So surround yourself with the people, with the words, with the disciplines, with the environment that is going to help you step into that greatness. Get an accountability partner. Again, join a peer group. There is amazing networking groups and groups on Facebook. Whatever it is that you want to come, step into that greatness. You don't have to do it alone. You know, one of the best things that you can do is to build a culture where your desired behavior is the identity and the norm. Birds of a feather flock together. If you want to be successful, if you want to be living a life with purpose, surround yourselves with others that want that same thing and that are living the life. It doesn't mean they have to do it exactly the way you are, but again, surround yourself with those things, because nothing sustains motivation better than belonging to the right tribe. It will motivate you. It will energize you. It will pull you out of the funks when you get into your funks, and it'll keep you connected with your why. So again, the 3 things: discover your why. Spend time getting clear on your reasons for living. Control your energy, control your mindset, and focus on the things that are in your world and in your circle of control. And then show up and make the decision every day to run your success habits. Because when you do these 3 things, you will start living a life by design and no longer one by default. Life happens at the level of movement, not words. We can't simply just say we want to be successful, say we want to be purposeful, say we want to be a ninja. We have to show up and live our lives that way. So again, the system does work. We have to make sure that we commit and live the system. So with that said, I know we have just a few minutes more. Anybody, I'll go ahead and stop sharing. I can take a look at the chat box. Anybody have anything that they want to ask me in our last few minutes, or any other, comments or takeaways, you can put them in the chat box since we have a great group. Jen, I don't know if you have anything that you want to share to close us out for the day.
I'm just glad you came today. We've
Me
missed
too.
you. It's been 7 months since you came, I think.
Yeah.
And our ninjas have been practicing their ninja stuff. And so, we've been talking about it. And I believe that our other agents have been getting more interested about getting ninja back here.
Beautiful.
And so we are in continual discussions with you about that.
Yes.
So yeah, we will talk more
Wonderful.
with our agents about bringing ninja back.
Excellent. And you know what, I know life is life and not every day is easy, but I just speak from my heart and I speak from truth. It's really hard to have a bad day when you wake up with a mindset of gratitude. There's always something beautiful. And when you really come from a place of who can I serve today, it changes the game. So I really promise you, these things do work. Again, progress, not perfection. Find your starting point and pick a couple of things that you want to focus on. Maybe pick one of the Ninja 9 and say, I want to focus on this one habit for the next week, and then add another one in. But it does work. And I promise you, you can get there too. And just know I'm a resource. Your leadership team is amazing and a resource for you. So success is out there. Yeah. So with that said, I thank you all for your time.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you. Hope to see you all in person soon.
Thanks, Carla.
Thank you.
See you, Clara.
Thanks, Jen. This is really a good refresher.
Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you came.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Bye, everybody. Have a good week.
Thank you, Jen. This was awesome.
Glad you came.